It's Nisha's Network, y'all.
It's Nisha's Network, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about connecting, yeah.
Connect the
Let's go.
vibe.
It's Nisha's Network, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all about connecting, yeah. Let's go.
Connect and feel the vibe. Connections make you feel alive. We do this every day. Let's put your business on display. Network, let's heal and pray. It's our love, we here to stay. Trust in God, he'll lead the way. We on right now, no need to wait. Let's go. It's Nisha's Network, yeah, yeah. It's all about connecting, yeah. Let's go.
Well, hello everyone. Hello, hello. How are you today? Super excited to be here. And it is March. We are marching right on through 2025. And I haven't put on the Nisha's Network song in a very long time. Was feeling it today. So I was like, let me just put it on. Shout out to my cousin Will. It's probably time for a revamp. But we've been very busy in the area of recovery. And everybody that knows, I retired last year from behind the salon chair. I missed it terribly, but we've been able to, and we've been networking. But we've been networking differently. We've been networking through areas of recovery through our HLM Recovery ROS program, which stands for Recovery Oriented Systems of Care. And so, because we have done so much with trying to just reach out and connect with people in regards for mental health, substance use disorder, unemployment, unhoused people, and I think the state of Illinois has included gambling and a lot of other things. I decided to celebrate some women for March because it's Women's History Month. I decided to celebrate women in recovery. So today, my very special guest is none other than the lovely Miss Yvonne Orr.
Thank
So welcome,
you. Thank
Yvonne.
you. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good, and I'm so glad you joined me today. I'm really excited to get this conversation started. So if you just are happen to watch right now, this is a time for you to share. Please feel free to share and just share with someone so you can meet someone so powerful that's making impact not only in the city of Chicago, not only in the state of Illinois, but also globally. And I'm just excited. Your camera kind of switched around a little
I
bit.
know it keeps switching on me. I don't know
Okay,
what's going on. It
okay,
just wants me to flip out,
it
right?
wants you to flip out. So that's what we're gonna have our flip out conversation today. But anyway, so for just so people can get to know a little bit about you, tell us a little bit who you are and what's going on, something fun, and then we'll get into our conversation.
So I always start my intros with the fact that I am a daughter of revolutionaries. I am the daughter of Christina Chuckles May, who was Minister of Culture for the Illinois Black Panther Party, and I am the daughter of Delbert Orr Africa, who was Minister of Confrontation and Security for the MOVE organization. And I lead with how I was born into this revolutionary path because it is very much a part of who I am.
Okay.
I'm also a newlywed, and I
Woohoo!
am a mom, and I'm sugar mama, aka grandma, to two beautiful young seeds, as we call our babies in our family. There are seeds that we're helping to
Yes.
blossom and grow. And fun fact is, I am off to Morocco in about 3.5 weeks, so I'm very excited
Oh,
about that.
yay. Yay, yay, yay. Well, I know you're going to have a wonderful time. Bring some of that warm weather back over in our Chicagoland area. But for just to give you all a little insight, Yvonne and I work in the same space of recovery, but she has so much more of a broad entrepreneurship impact that she's making in the world today. And so, Yvonne, we want to talk recovery a little bit though, because we know that to me, women who have lived through recovery, and I'm glad March honors women in history, but I say
Yes.
but we don't want to just think about the people that have left here, but we want to honor the people that are living and walking this thing out. So I want you to share just a little bit about your recovery journey and what that looked like briefly.
So I'm considered what's known as a PLE, a person with lived experience. And though I have had different substances, mainly marijuana and alcohol, in my past, there are certain aspects of what we think of recovery, um, primarily focused on alcoholism, but recovery is so much bigger than that. It covers the mental health and wellness space, so that those with mental illnesses can know that they have support. Traditionally, for African American cultures, we'll put somebody on the back porch and just call Uncle Juju, cray cray,
Yes.
and so it's far beyond that. And just like you stated in the beginning with Illinois, that also includes gambling. Gambling, unfortunately, has a hold on our elder population. And
Mm.
so, no matter what their earned income is or their savings, they are spending it on, gambling. And then we have new casinos popping up. So we just want people to do things and do things responsibly. And we help to spread awareness about what that recovery path looks like and how best to support someone. Mine started from a huge, difficult path of watching those that I loved in my family suffer from drug addiction and alcoholism. First would be a joke for crashing cars, literally like crashing cars where they would almost lose their life, to
Mm.
losing lives, and just realize at a very early age, like, I will never, ever, ever do these hard types of drugs and substances and things of that nature, and frankly didn't do much of anything until my college stint. And so trying to figure out what that looks like for me was a very kind of hard path to go, and that's how I got into the recovery awareness space.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that. Wow. Thank you for sharing. So, there's such a stigma that's attached to people speaking to this topic, and that whole phrase, not in my backyard, or, not in my world, or none of my
hmm
family and friends do drugs and alcohol. So this is not applicable to me. What would you say to people like that?
So I don't know one person that I've ever met that has not had a down day, just a day where they may be sad or not feeling quite their best. And while it might not be clinical depression, it is a form of depression and not quite being fully mentally healthy on that particular day, in that particular moment. And so I attribute that to, when I'm sharing with others, what that may feel like on an ongoing basis for those that may suffer from struggling to overcome addiction and abuse. And, most people kind of get it at that particular point, and we're able to engage in a different kind of conversation. Other times, I'm also an LCPC, a licensed clinical practical counselor. And so other times we might just delve into the hurt part of what that feels like when they've just been hurt, whether it's a childhood bully or they didn't get picked, for the team. I liken those feelings to what it feels like to not be supported and how they can better support people. So that's how we do that.
Yeah, that's really good. I think
hmm
that sometimes people don't realize that it just doesn't start. You wake up one day and say, "Oh, I just want to start using drugs," or "Oh,
Right,
I just want to have a bad day of a history of mental illness," or
right.
"I just want to walk in depression." There's some events that lead up to that, and so one of the things that is very important to me is prevention, in terms of how we can really um, do a lot of prevention work, basically,
hmm
and to the young people more so, because now that marijuana, of course, is legal in so many states, and everybody's doing it, and I don't want to say everybody, but it's a stigma of everybody's doing it,
hmm
especially our young people through smoking and vaping and all these other things.
hmm
How do you really, with your organization, really tap into getting a hold of that next generation without them feeling judged or um, condemned?
So, well, we talk to them, and we get input directly from them. I'm a partner agency with the Southland Recovery Coalition that covers the entire South Suburban territory of Cook County. And, we actually went into the schools early on. We've been doing this, we're in our fifth year now. And we get input from them. And so when we're doing what we call like peer to peer groups, and we're talking with them, we ask, how many of you all have little brothers or little sisters? Most people will raise their hand. How many of you all have cousins, that, you hang out with, you love them? Any of them younger, they'll raise their hands. And we'll say, how about we give them what you took last week?
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh,
And
wait.
it is silent. you know how about we do to them what has been done to you or what you may have done to others? How about we do that?
Mm.
What is the emotion that you're feeling right now? Do you feel a little bit of, back then we were able to still say clap back, so that's the other thing. We
Mhm,
stay up on
mhm.
slang terms. We ask for almost an entire dictionary of what's what. Right now, for the younger generation, we're combating against, opioid abuse with them, and ironically with the elder population. So we'll bring them together. We'll have them do like a service or volunteer event at an assisted living facility, so that they can talk to each other about what it looks like to come down off of pills, and what that feels like, and how they can better support each other, and then also have that intergenerational conversation, because an elder person might not think that they're addicted. They just don't know. They're just taking all of these pills because at one point a doctor gave it to them at some point in their life. So some people, they have 16, 20 different pills that they're not even supposed to have, and they pass them amongst each other, same as in the school hallway, and they just don't believe that they're having the same experience. We have edibles, if you will, that are Skittles, and it's just very hard to keep younger people like 13 and under away from those types of
Wow.
things that'll be harmful to them.
Wow. You said 13 and under. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you for that part of what you do. I wanted to ask you, one of the phrases you use all the time is being. How do you tie in the word being with the recovery space? I'm just curious to how that all ties into everything you do.
Right. And first of all, I don't know anybody that can say love and not kind of have a certain connotation behind it. For me, that word is being. How am I being? What am I being? Are you seeing my being? And it's so many different characteristics and euphemisms that come out of being. And I capitalize BE on purpose, because I am here to do more than just be. I'm here to exist and to honor my ancestral line, my bloodline, and that which is to come. And so I want to make sure that I am being present, that I am in a verb way, the I am factor. And so in recovery, we want them to honor their inner being. We want them to take that first step towards becoming what they want to be being, and we say it just like that. Who are you being? What do you want to be? I can't not believe my camera is just doing its own thing. It is being. How about
It
that?
is being. The camera's being.
It is
The
being
camera is
without even
being,
being
girl.
touched. Like, it is just doing its own thing. It's so
Yes.
hilarious to me.
Yes. Well, I thank you for saying that, because I think that if a lot more people really knew what their being was, or what they wanted to be in being, then they wouldn't be searching for the wrong things. What did Eddie Murphy say? Looking for love in all the wrong places.
Right,
You
right.
know, and I think that that's the foundation to me that needs to be established within the work of what we do. So,
Hmm.
and we did we partnered with Hero yesterday to do a Narcan training, and I've been trying
I
to really
love Hero.
yes, they're so amazing. Shout out to Jan Dombrowski and Bonnie, who did our workshop yesterday on the training. But I wanted to say that there's a stigma within even the faith-based community, and we are outreach ministry, faith-based Heart Life Ministries, and so I was just thinking, like, what words would you speak to pastors and faith-based leaders that really have just you have some that have ministries that go to the jails or go to the treatment centers and different, but then you have those that are just naive and just don't even want to have any parts. I don't want to say don't want to have any parts, but it's not at there. Everybody's called to different things. I understand that. But the
Right.
world we live in, it needs to definitely be talked about. What would you say to faith-based communities?
I have a slight advantage because when I started my company, I started it doing a program at McCormick Theological Seminary.
Oh, wow.
And so your consulting group has been around since '93, and we help put pastors through a master's and doctoral program. So I have very good relationships with lots and lots of our, pastors in our
That's
communities
amazing, girl. I didn't
across
know
the
that.
entire city, right? And then later in life, I got, my own theological master's degree. I got a PhD in practical theology. And so it's not that I'm minister heavy, but I can speak their speak. And then it's always to go from where you are and where the people are. We are a community of evangelists and congregants collectively, collaboratively. And what does that look like? And we can't judge. We just can't. And so I have to remind the man behind, the cloth, or the woman behind the cloth sometimes, of how they got into it, what was their call to ministry,
Yeah.
and get into their personal story. And sometimes, more often than not, they've been traumatized, whether it's from childhood or later in life, by someone that was impacted by addiction. And that's why they have such a hard and fast rule about it. And I feel
Mm.
like just because we're talking about recovery, I promise you, I've been on Restream for a long time, and my camera has never ever flipped this many times. That is what the pathway to recovery looks like.
Come on.
Exactly what we're seeing right now. We're in and out of our lives. We're in and out of, purposeful living. And from a ministerial and faith-based standpoint, it is not necessarily always the duty to, get someone to turn their life over to God, although we rejoice when that happens. It is
Yeah.
about getting them on the right pathway to actually live purposeful lives,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then they can come around to whatever their faith base is. And
Yeah.
so I studied all religions. I want to be aware, and I'm not afraid to go into those faith based communities that are not necessarily my background,
Okay.
so
Okay.
um, whether it be Buddhist, Islamic, everything. I'm aware. I've studied it, and I want to know, and I want to learn. And so I don't approach anything from a place of let me tell you something. It's like let us kind of discover and share and hold space together and
Mm.
see what that space feels like in its own being. So being just resonates over and over and over again.
Let's share what's the space together and see what we can come up with and in our being. That's so
hmm
powerful. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about Cornerstone.
So, Cornerstone Community Development Corporation is 56 years old, started in
Wow.
1968, formerly known as the Fort Heights Community Service Organization.
Oh, wow.
And the best way I can describe this organization is a one stop shop. I love being here. There used to be a grantee of mine when I was over the South Suburban Regional Office for United Way. And I can say that the work that they're doing across the South Suburban territory, just because they're based in Fort Heights, it's not solely their coverage for the Fort Heights community. And so, from housing counseling, they're a HUD certified housing counseling agency. We have workforce development through our SOS program, where you can get certifications, licensures, and employment placement. Some of our participants that have gone through the workforce development program, where you also receive a stipend, have gone on to make, upwards of 48 to 60 plus dollars an hour on job sites. And so it's not just that we say what we're doing, we actually do it. We're funded in part by IDHS, as you know, but then also by the West Side Justice Council, WJC, for the Access to Justice program. And so we help raise awareness about knowing your rights, how to get access to free legal aid and services. Um, it's a lot. So we say whatever you can think of under your household that you need, Cornerstone is there to support. And then also as a partner with UMARC, which is a recovery community organization, and RCO, along with a number of other organizations, and then also a part of what we call the hub. So if you go to hub-relief.org, you can categorically put in anything that you need, and those resources and agencies that supply that will come up. And also the newest neighborhood network, the Higher Heights Initiative, is housed out of Cornerstone as well, which is bridging schools and parents and communities and faith-based institutions together to help make sure that our communities are stronger and better.
Wow.
I
Okay.
know that's a lot
Did I
to
say
say for
powerhouse?
Cornerstone.
Did you say
Cornerstone is a
hub?
powerhouse, yes.
Did you say hub-relief.org?
Hub-relief.org, yes.
Okay. Hub-relief.org. Well, I know that Yvonne is making moves in this world. I'm gonna say the world, and then also primarily in the state of Illinois. You wear so many hats. How do you keep yourself mentally sound with just the hats that you wear, with the organizations, with the impact that you're making through areas of recovery, and even with your Yvonne, consulting Chicago,
Hmm.
consulting group. I said consulting Chicago. How are you keeping your own self, sound?
So, first and foremost, it's always God first, God led. It helps me be grounded and continue to stay grounded. I meditate daily. I pray throughout the day. It just, I'm a Virgo astrologically, for those that know, So, yes, I pray throughout the day to, just remember how I am being. What is my countenance? How well am I exhibiting patience? What are my interactions? Are they meaningful? And then I do a lot of play. Um, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I come from 5 generations of entrepreneurs on both sides, literally. And so we very much work hard and we play hard. And so I love to travel. I dance. I spent almost close to a decade as a world traveling spoken word artist. I used to be a professional dancer, and so I still keep up that arts and culture aspect of who I was as I get older, and still, just have a great time while promoting recovery awareness.
Wow.
So I just live a very exciting life, and I love, 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 and I love being loved.
I was thinking, I really appreciate you sharing that, because you can have fun and walk in recovery. And I think a lot of times there's a misconception. Me and my husband say this all the time now. People that socially and recreationally drink, it's okay. It's like, okay, you have a glass of wine. Okay. But there are so many people, our marriage ministry, we don't promote alcohol because so many people have lost marriages through the
Hmm.
addiction. So
Hmm.
we're not judging you if you do, but I do say, can you have a good time without picking up a drink? Sometimes people can't. Like somebody said to us, karaoke, you can't have karaoke without drinking because it won't be fun. But that's not the truth. And I think that there's such a misconception, but there's such a world of people who are walking recovery that say, hey, I have to choose to embrace life beyond what I was addicted to, right? And so
Right.
I really appreciate you saying that, from dancing to spoken word to what else did you say? Traveling, and just really,
Hmm.
but those people that feel that there's no hope, for our last couple minutes, I just want you to share, what can you offer people who feel like they are hopeless? I got a call from a grandmother whose grandson is in and out of prison because of alcohol and drugs. What can you say to offer hope to people that are feeling either their loved one is walking through a area of needing recovery, or someone who just feels like down in terms of not even drugs or alcohol, but just their mental health is just down? What would you say?
The best way, this is just personal opinion, that I've seen hope manifest itself in others' lives is when they can see themselves in others. When they see that someone that has been in and out of prison, um, was able to get their life back on track, was able to leave behind a life of crime and addiction and, criminal activity, and become somebody not just for themselves, but an example to others. And so those peer-to-peer instances are, they're just invaluable. And then it's not so much, I'm in a different recovery space. I have not been drunk since I was 16 years old, and it was just because of my personal experience. And so I'm able to share with, college students on how did I get through college without, drinking in that manner, because I couldn't take, you know, the sickness and illness that came behind the one time I was drunk, one and done. That's not everybody's experience. So where they can see others that have struggled and then survived it, because this is a survivor's world at this particular point, with so many things afforded to us, they're able to have a different type of conversation. That's why sponsors are so important. That's why, talking to somebody that lost it all, that used to have these huge mansions out here in some of the other more southwest suburbs, and now they're in a facility. They're able to come and tell their story as they're on their journey, so they can see I'm not all that I want to be, but I'm trying, I'm
Yes.
surviving, and I'm thriving
Yeah.
in my pathway to recovery. So they need to see that you too can have fun without, um, toting, smoking, or whatever it is that your addiction is.
Yeah, that's good.
Social media is an addiction too. It is
Oh,
not
yes,
formally registered yet under recovery, but it is coming. They are looking at it.
really.
NIH is looking at it. Yes, yes,
Yes,
because
because
we've lost so many lives to suicide and depression behind things that occurred on social media. And so they're considering having it be another added category like we did with mental illness.
wow. I could see that because if you wake up in the morning, you on social media. You in the middle of the day, you can't focus because of social media, and then kids getting on too young and different things like that. As much as
Mm-hmm.
it can make an impact, it also can do damage. And so,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for sharing that. Well, I just want to say thank you for coming today. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the work you're doing. It took us a minute to connect, but I mean, I feel
It
like
did.
loaded. I'm lock and loaded with a powerhouse who is bringing change to communities and making global impact within the spaces of recovery. And thank you for your yes to continuing the work that you do. I really
And
appreciate
thank you for your yes for HLM
it. Thank
Rosk. I
you
love
so
it.
much.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Well, if you all want to reach out to Yvonne, go to yourconsulting.com, where you can go ahead and reach out to her and all the spaces that she's providing throughout the recovery spaces. Happy Women's History Month. Thank you so much, Yvonne. We'll talk to you all soon.